Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? It's time for another episode of Real Thoughts and Conversations. So, here today, I just have my main man, Oren, my co-host at this point, because he's never let me down. He's always here with me, giving him his thoughts and opinions. Oren, how are you tonight?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing awesome. Glad to see you. Always glad to join you, brother.
It's a great day to be out here because, personally, as a Patriots fan, we play tonight, Thursday night, in our Nike rivalries. Oh my God. I got the jersey. I got the new wait, can you see? I got the new shoes. Bro, these came out like Monday. Oh yeah, I was ready for them. But
what I say, Air Max 90s, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, the Air Max 90s, yeah. But look, a little bit off topic, and some of my kids know this too. They had some Air Force Ones come out. They had some Air Force Ones come out this morning, and I had an alarm to say, hey, at 9:59, check this place. I'm like, bet. My alarm goes off, rushing over to my computer, and I'm looking. I finally put the link in for the website and like for the shoes.
Okay.
I go in, literally 5 seconds of me loading in, my size is already out of stock.
Hey,
I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
It's there's no way.
It's those bots,
no
man.
way.
Yeah.
And they're Air Force Ones. I'm like, bro, what? Are you serious?
It depends on which one it is, man, and which ones they are. And I'll tell you, I mean, I'm still somewhat of a sneakerhead, man. So that's my vice of choice. I tell you, man, most of these apps, especially, and we could touch on this real quick before we go into our topic. With so many resellers out here, they have bots that they use to be able to purchase these sneakers, man, from these different apps. If it's Nike app, if it's sneakers app, if it's Finish Line, whatever the case may be, and it cleans them out, man, before us everyday people are able to get them. So it's an interesting hustle. I'll say that much, but it's definitely different, man. Because let's say, for instance, a pair of Air Force Ones, if they're 115, right, maybe 130, 135, if it's a special edition, depending on what it is, and if it's in high demand, the resellers will buy it, put it on their shelf, and it'll be 2, 3, 4 times the amount. So it's crazy, man. It's unfortunate for us everyday people that want to be able to get a pair of shoes because we like them and don't want to have to go to the resellers to get it. But I mean, hey, you can't knock the hustle,
and listen, I also can't hate it, but personally, as a consumer, the biggest time where I dealt with this, and I know this isn't part of the topic for the show, but now you got me rolling. But this happened again in 2020 when the Xbox Series S and the PS5 came out. When I tell you, the minute they went live, it was like November. The Xbox went live.
Okay.
And the minute it went live and like everything was up. Xbox website was up, GameStop, Best Buy, any other website that was selling video game consoles, they were up. 10 seconds later, everybody's out of stock. Everything's not currently sold. Yeah, gone.
It's those pre-orders, man.
And all I see on social media, I've seen one person. Oh, this made me mad so much. There was one person I saw. They had a whole truckload of Xbox Series X's and said, if you want one, they're $2,000. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Each?
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Crazy.
It's crazy. I'll tell you something. It's funny that you say that. It's the new, as I call it, the new hustle of today, man. It's where people are spending more of the dollar up front to be. It's a hustle. It's a new hustle, man. I sell shoes and clothes online, so that's why I say you can't knock the hustle. It's one of my hustles of choice. It's one of my hobbies as well. But I say all of that to say, man, when it comes to your Xboxes, your PlayStations, a lot of different things. People are able to pre-order more now in this modern day than ever before. So with the internet, with the ability to go on sites and raffles and all of those different type of things, man, people are stockpiling. And if it's like you said, I'm assuming, because I'm not a gamer, but with my wife and I, we purchased the PS5 a few years back for my youngest son. But and the way we found that, man, was like a diamond in the rough. It's so funny. It just was a random day at Target. I just happened to say, by the way, do y'all have any PS5s? He said, you wouldn't believe it. We have 2. Now, that's neither here. It's in the day before Christmas also. Now, back to your point. When it comes to the Xboxes, the PS5s, and so forth and so on, it's crazy how whatever that amount is of purchasing up front, it's triple that amount if you choose to still buy it. But sometimes, man, you just gotta wait. You just gotta hold off. You know.
And it's so weird you say that, Oren, because at that point when I saw them go live and I saw them go out of stock, I made the loudest noise like to my student because I was in the classroom. I made the loudest noise to my students, and I was like, "No, they sold out!" And then one of my kids, I'm not gonna say his name, but one of my kids, he's standing right here next to me, like he's like almost leaning on my shoulder, standing next to me.
Yeah,
and he was like, "Mr. Greenfield, what are you talking about?" And I'm like, "Look at these shoes, dog. I've been praying for these shoes for like a week now. Ever since they announced them, I need the shoes." And he was like, "They're out of stock already." I said, "Yes, they went live 2 minutes ago." Wow. He was like, "Man,
yeah, I get caught up in that. I do. I look. I'll tell you, man. It's a many a times, and I want us to be able to get into our topic tonight. But it's a many a times, man. I'm trying to get a particular shoe, and I'm holding my phone in hand, waiting to hit that button, and then on the Nike's app or the sneakers app, man, they put you on this waiting list. It's like it's pending type of thing, and it's like. You look for the, and for sneakerheads and people that like to buy shoes, man, they know what I'm talking about. You like to see that "got 'em" sign pop up. You know what I mean? It's like a toy for grown-ups, so to speak. You know what I mean? When it pops up, you're like yes.
I can't wait to.
When it's not, man, you're disappointed.
Hey, man, that's why I like seeing your order's been confirmed or thanks for your order or we received your order and stuff like that, and it's like it will ship in one day, bro. Yeah, that is the best feeling to me. Yes, I love it. Yes, so look, that's enough off track topics.
Yes, sir.
If you've ever bought shoes or you've ever been trying to buy something offline and bots just take it away from you, drop something down in the comments and let me know. Tell me what it was, because now it's been the Patriots Air Force One rivalry shoes and an Xbox Series X for me, and I'm getting sick and tired of these bots because I had my car ready. My car was loaded in my hand. I was waiting for it to put my information in. And here it is. They're out of stock. But I digress.
Yeah, that's all right. It's all good.
Today, we're going to continue talking about men's mental health. Men's mental health is very important. We're halfway through November. And just to let you guys know, it is Thursday. And Thanksgiving is in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay? So next week. Actually, no, I'm going to say that at the end of the show. Yes, Thanksgiving's in 2 weeks. Also, Black Friday. So if you want to do some early Christmas shopping, I suggest you prepare for that. Now, like I said before, we're talking about men's mental health. Okay, I got 2 questions for you, and you guys can answer questions too. At home, in the car, wherever you are, just drop your answers down in the comments below, and we will read your comments out loud, and maybe we'll react to them too. So here's your first question. What expectation do you feel pressured? What expectation do you feel pressured to meet just because you're a man? And how do these expectations affect you? I'm going to say it again.
Yes, please do.
What expectations do you feel pressure to meet because you're a man? And how do those expectations affect you?
Wow, that is deep. That is deep. What expectations? I got one. I have one. And you know what? I'm going to be a bit transparent, man, and vulnerable. When I'm processing, when I'm thinking, and when I'm trying to, just make sense of some things, I like to go quiet, right? I like to be able to go internal and just, I really have very little to talk about. And the expectation of me always having something to talk about, having to be communicative, having to be always on the up and up. Sometimes that expectation weighs a little heavy, because I think, and I don't know, this may relate, other men may relate to this as well. When we're trying to make sense of some things, and when we're trying to process and figure out, what's next or what to do. I don't know about you. I don't know about others, but I know I like to go internal. I like to go into my head, man. I like to be able to find a space and process. And during that time, I don't like to be questioned. I don't like to sometimes have to be expected to do certain things that maybe normally I do. Now, mind you, I don't mean anything major. It could just be engage in the conversation, to be very candid with you. Sometimes, and I'm a talker, mind you. So in those moments, and sometimes those moments, I'll be very honest, sometimes those moments may last a little longer probably than they need to. But what it is in those moments, it would be great to be able to for it to be seen and recognized as, give me a minute, type of thing. It's like, do not expect from me in this moment when I said, give me a minute. You know what I mean? So, So sometimes it's that, give me a minute. I could verbally say it. Sometimes I feel like my actions to show it. I have a way that I always say, I go to the garage sometime and I go sit on my chair out there and I just relax. Sometimes I sit in the car, whatever the case may be. And I think one week I was saying I go on the back porch, but in those moments, it's like, read the room used to be a saying that I used to say. And I think it's important, man, that, in homes and in families, how we all see our needs to be met. I think it's important that we should pay attention to one another's needs. I think we should pay attention to one another's language. And language is not always verbally spoken. Sometimes we should be able to read the room. We should be able to pay attention to if anybody is in need of receiving a timeout. And I'm talking about a timeout, meaning like, timeout, give me a moment, give me 10, whatever the case may be. So that's for me. And hopefully I answered your question. But that's the first thing popped in my mind. The expectation to be present, the expectation to be communicative when I just need a moment to just like, man, give me a minute. Time out. Waving the white flag, like back up for a second, so that I can process it, so that I can come back, to whatever the situation is, as I like to say, so I can come back to the situation present in not just physical presence, but also mentally, emotionally, and physically, present in those situations. So that would be mine. What about you?
For me, I wanna bounce off what you said first. Mm-hmm. When it comes to the processing, the biggest process I'll sit in my car when I get home. Meaning, if let's say I'm coming home from school, right? Kids are being loud, kids are screaming, everybody's been running in and out of my room, and kids trying to bang and knock on the door. All I hear is, Mr. Greenfield, I need to get this from my friend. Mr. Greenfield, I need to go out somewhere. Mr. Greenfield, I need to go to the bathroom. Mr. Greenfield, I need to go to the nurse. This, that, and the third, but nobody knows how to single math question. But the one thing I do is that when I get home that minute, I like to sit in my driveway and just sit there, even for 20 minutes, 20, 30 minutes. I'll turn my car off, turn my radio down, and just sit in silence for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's my thing.
And that silence, silence helps me to recenter myself and just come back to reality, to saying, you're not dealing with anybody's problems anymore.
Exactly.
Now you're at home.
Yeah.
Now you can relax. Now you're at peace.
Yeah, you can decompress, as I like to call it.
Exactly. Yes, decompress.
Yeah, and it's important, man. It's important.
Now, to my answer to the question, I think the biggest expectations I hear are two of them.
Okay.
The first one is financially. I hear all the time that men need to be the financial rock of the household. Need to have like the stableness in the income. And that's controversial to whoever you ask, who you talk to. That's controversial to everybody. But to me personally, I want to be like that financial rock. I want to be able to be like, hey, can you help me out? Hey, I'm short on gas, or I'm short on, hey, I haven't eaten today. Hey, I haven't been able to do this. I want to be that person to be like, you know what? I have the extra funds to help out somebody. So I'm going to help them out.
Yeah.
I have the extra funds to help my friend go get gas. I have the extra funds to go help somebody or get them food or whatever.
Yeah.
But sometimes I feel like that, how do I put this? That burden may be a little bit heavy on me because I still have responsibilities on my own. I still have to pay bills. I still got to put gas in my car. I still got to fix my car whenever it goes in shop. Maybe I want to get some shoes to treat myself every now and again. But it's just that thing of everybody's relying on you because of you're that financial rock. Because they can go to you is because they can rely on you. I don't want to be fully relied on because that means you're not trying anymore, but you're thinking of me to save you.
Okay.
I don't want to be that person.
And I want to make sure I understand. Keep going. Keep going. I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
But I want to be that person to be like, hey, I tried every avenue and I'm on short timing. Can Anthony help me? That part I'm cool with. I'm okay with being like, hey, I asked like 2 or 3 people before you, or like I'm putting gas in my car. I want to put at least 30 to get home or to go to work, and I only have 15. All right, cool. I'll send you 20, so that way you'll have an extra 5 to work with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to be that person to say, I'm going to go to you first. I'm going to go to you every time. If I'm short $5, I'm going to go to Anthony. If I'm short $2, I'm going to go to Anthony. If I'm short $20, I'm going to go to Anthony. No, I don't want to be that person. Act your other avenues first. And the second one.
Because I want to take a stab. I want to take a stab at that too, though. So let me know when I can chime in, because you actually spoke to one that I think is really plays into men's mental health awareness, with the expectation of what it is that we have, and why that is one of the major ones. But go ahead to the next one, and then I'll double back.
Okay, cool. So the second part is having knowledge, having the knowledge of doing certain things, fixing certain things, and maybe thinking at a certain age you should know how to do or fix something. If any of you is confused after what I just said, here's why. What if I told you there was a 21-year-old person that doesn't know how to ride a bike? Would you look at that person and say, how are you 21? You don't know how to ride a bike? Or you can look at them and say like, oh, maybe somebody never taught you. Or maybe like you just didn't have the time, or you didn't have the availability to do it. Then a third, yada yada. I don't want, when I get a little bit older and I start having my own place, I don't want anybody telling me, oh, you don't know how to do this. Do you not know how to fix a sink if the faucet is leaking? Do you not know how to change the toilet or change whatever? Do you not know how to do home improvement in the house anywhere? Do you not know how to put baseboards down? Do you not know how to build something simple? That's my fear. I don't want the smallest mistake or the smallest ounce of not having the knowledge to do something makes that my worth. So I don't want to be useless if I don't know how to build something, if I don't know how to ride a bike, if I don't know how to pay this, if I don't know where to go when I pay this. Everybody has questions. And my father always told me growing up, no question is a stupid question.
He's right. He was right.
No question is ever a stupid question. And he always told me that. But over time, it really dawned on me then when he told me that. And it was like, so if I have a question, it's okay to ask it, no matter how left field or whatever it is. Now I get it. He may be tired some days, but
so I want to take a shot at that, man, and I want to start at the back end of what you said. No question, as your dad said, no question is a stupid question. I would agree 100,000%. But I will say this as a dad, right, as a father times 5, man, and the number of 5 means nothing. I'm just saying that so you can imagine the amount of questions that come with 5 different kids at different times. That's the only reason why I'm saying it. So I've told my kids, and I always stress that no question is a stupid question or a dumb question. But what I do challenge them with is this. I want you to pay attention to when you ask a question, what the answer is, and in what ways can you use the answer to that question in another question that you may have. Meaning, like use the Use the answer that you receive from a question as now a resource that you have to be able to figure out how to do something else. Don't come to me with everything that you're wanting to understand and know without having first tapped into what it is that is within your head, or what it is that is within the ability that you have to critically think. So I have a thing that I used to say to my kids: you can utilize me as a resource, but you cannot use me as your only resource. You have to be able to know that God has created you just like He's created me, to be able to maneuver and function and critically think and process of what it is that you're experiencing in life, and begin to make some sense of some things. And that's difficult, man. That's definitely difficult sometimes, but it's the difficultness, it's the uncomfortableness that actually helps us grow. I use this example. I always say, if you're trying to either lose weight, gain muscle, get stronger, whatever the case may be, you have to push past the uncomfortable period. You have to go into the trenches and you have to figure some things out. If you expect somebody to do it for you, how is it that you'll ever actually learn, right? So you may have heard this parable before. Give a man fish, he'll come to you with the expectation of always in need of being fed. Teach a man how to fish, he can then in turn teach someone else. So that's the part of where asking a question is important, but what you do with the answer and the response is even that much more of importance. You said something also when it comes to the information and the fact that you don't want to not have information when somebody asks you a question. You made me think for a second, man. Yeah, I see. I said we got some comments. Somebody is really on that 6-7.
Yeah. Jay just told me to take a look at the comments. I was like,
so hold on for a second. I'm gonna come back to that because I have no idea what that 6-7 thing means. So don't answer yet though. But
I won't.
When it comes to being able to have information, when it comes to being able to be resourceful, that's something, man, that is important, I think, for any human being to tap into as they get older, but especially we as men. As men, we are the providers of protection. And I like to put those two things together and sometimes separate them. We are the provider and the protector. But we live in this modern day. It's where both men and women are career oriented. So the man is not only and sometimes isn't the financial provider of the household to the same degree of the way the woman is. But when it comes to, like you said, from information, and when it comes to certain things that there's an expectation of us as men that we just ought to know how to do it if we've never been taught. But then when we get older and get in an age where somebody says, hey, Dad, or hey, Anthony, or whatever the case may be, Oren, how do you do this? And we're like, nobody ever really told me. So the pride comes in, and we're like, if I say I don't know how to do it, how does that make me look? Right. So that's a part that affects the mental and the mindset of a man, where this is something that I want to challenge men with. And anybody gets a chance to watch this. It's okay to say you don't know how to do something. It's okay to say that you don't know about something, but allow yourself that if and when somebody asks you about something, say sometimes, let me go figure it out. Let me go learn, and I'll get back to you. Because in turn, what that does is it lets the person know that's inquiring about how to do something, or either where to go, or whatever the case may be, that you are a resource that they can depend on. But if every time somebody asks you, it's I don't know, or it's that you're hemming and hawing trying to figure out how to say that you don't know by trying to say you think you do know, it gets messy, man. You know, and what happens in those moments, it's that old saying, it's the blind leads the blind leading the blind, so to speak. So I just challenge us all, myself, you, and all those listening included. It's okay to say you don't know how to do something. It's okay to say that you don't know something, but don't be afraid to go figure it out. You know, once you find something that you don't know, either by way of either having watched something, heard something, or somebody asked you, I challenge you to say, I want to know what this is. And that's something that I wonder in this modern day, do more men and women go seek knowledge for the sake of itself? Right now, anybody that understands what that latter part of what I just said, they'll get it, and they can go research it and Google it, of the importance of understanding of seek knowledge for the sake of itself. Knowledge. Not education only, but knowledge. There was years prior back in the day where we had some of the most wisest, most knowledgeable people that had no more than a 6th, 7th, or 8th grade education. Now we live in a day and time where everybody goes to get an education, but they have no
17 numbers. They got to do it.
Right. They have no knowledge, right? They have no understanding of self, because they're not tapping into themselves. They're only thinking that everything that they need to know, it's in a book. No, it's not. It's in this world. You got to explore. You got to experience. So just saying all that to say, get out there, get comfortable with being uncomfortable and figure some things out, because that's how you become resourceful. That's how you become more knowledgeable. That's how you become more wise. And then in turn, you become a resource. Every man, and I mind you, some people will say women included, and I say men and women, but every man at some point in time in their life should be able to be seen as a resource in some way, shape, form, or fashion. If we go back past me and your era, your great grandparents, my grandparents, you could go ask Pop, you could go ask Grandpop, whatever, how to do something. Even if he didn't know, he's going to figure it out. He's going to figure it out. He's not going to say, oh, let me go Google it. He's going to ask somebody. He's going to do something to figure it out. He was dependable. So that's an area that I think that we as men in this modern day should get back to, is becoming dependable and resourceful in the way that we once were. Now, mind you, it's because we're talking about men, right? So I'm not excluding women, but I'm talking about men here. We should become more resourceful again and become more reliable again, so that the world understands that at the end of the day, we have value in a way that the world has, and I'm saying the world, but you get where I'm going at with this, has kind of treated it as though masculinity is toxic. It's nothing toxic about masculinity. Everybody wants to be able to feel like they can be protected. Let's keep it a buck. Everybody wants to know that there's somebody that can protect you. And when I say protect you, I don't mean only by brute strength, but I also mean by head knowledge, understanding, and awareness, right? So I could go for days on that, man, but great one. I like that. Go ahead, take us to the next.
So there's actually two things I want to say. First off, hi James. Second off, still going to the first one because I'm reading the comments. James, you say, yo, should I trade AJ Brown for Jonathan Taylor in fantasy football? Yes. Whoever is going to trade you Jonathan Taylor for AJ Brown is dumb. But listen, with that football talk, AJ Brown is not getting the ball, but Jonathan Taylor is going to be MVP. Besides Drake May. But if you can somehow get Jonathan Taylor for AJ Brown, bro, you're a god. You're just him. You're just the GOAT. But
I got some for James real quick. James, comment on what we're talking about. But we'll get to the football later. Comment on this topic, bro.
But actually, the second thing I want to talk to you about, Oren, you said that be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yes, sir.
My side question, or kind of like my sidebar question to that, is what would be the thing of it is what it is? Like, would you incorporate it is what it is with being comfortable with being uncomfortable? Because if I'm reading that, I'm taking it as, you know what, I should be comfortable with being uncomfortable. But also, if I say it is what it is, that means whatever is coming my way, I'm not gonna let it affect me. But being comfortable with being uncomfortable could mean the same thing. So it's like whatever's coming your way, you're cool with it. You can deal with it. You can do whatever with it. But if I'm gonna continue saying, all right, cool, it is what it is, you're gonna keep letting it happen. It's gonna keep happening. And then with you keep doing it, now it's going to be a whole different thing of what should I do next? Well, it is what it is. So I'm just going to find out. So where did that line stand at?
And I want to make sure I understand, where does the line stand at when it comes to it is what it is versus what? The figuring it out, the going to figure it out?
Yes. So the line between it is what it is and being comfortable with being uncomfortable. Because if you look at it, I'm not sure how deep I'm looking at it, but those could be similar. Not the same thing, but they could be similar.
They could be. So I'll take a stab at it and chime in if I'm going off, kind of veering off. So let's take the saying, it is what it is. Now, mind you, in life, there are certain things that it just is what it is. You know what I mean? Like we could get into the fact of, do I want to be controversial? Yeah. There are certain things that no matter how much man tries to play God, they cannot. It is what it is. I'll say that. Read between the lines, people. You know what I mean? Like there's certain things that just are what they are, and there's no changing it. Now, when it comes to that, boom, put that to the side. Get comfortable with it being uncomfortable. I think I touched on this once before, if not on your platform or another one. I used to have a podcast some years back called The O Factor. And I got to give Miss Taisha Tucker a shout out because she's who she was my assistant, but she was a great young lady that she actually created a segment within my show called Get Comfortable with Being Uncomfortable. And she and I, along with some guests, we would talk about uncomfortable topics that at the end of the day need to be discussed. So anybody go to Spotify, whatever the case may be, look up the O Factor and take a listen. Tell me what you think. But with that being said, I think in life, we must embrace the uncomfortableness of just life in itself. The only way that we actually grow is through discomfort. You know, let's be real. I went back a minute ago let's go back a minute ago when I said, if I want to lose weight or if I want to gain muscle, right, I have to work out. I have to eat less. It's something that I have to do, that I have to tell myself I no longer can continue to do what I used to do. So there's going to be an uncomfortable period that I have to press through. I have to get through. So I should not expect change without doing anything different, right? They say insanity, Albert Einstein said, insanity is doing the same thing, expecting different results or something like that. That is insanity. And that is what many, many people live within, right? They expect something to be done different. They expect something different without doing anything different. So to answer your question, man, or to speak to it is this: embrace the discomfort that comes with just life in itself. Expecting things to go the way that you want them to go is unrealistic. I have a thing I like to jokingly say, nobody's special. It's 7 billion people in this world. You may be special to your parent, but you are not special to everybody. Meaning, get up and go do something, right? Make yourself be somebody that somebody sees to have some sense of importance from a resourceful standpoint. But get off your butt and stop thinking that you're special and that somebody owes you something. Move away from the space of entitlement, which, I'm sorry, Anthony, I got to go here. Your generation, by fault of us as your parents' generation, we raised you guys to believe and think that you're special and that the world owes you something. Hate to say it, no one owes you anything. You got to go figure it out. Now, you can tap into and you can connect with people from a resourceful standpoint. But I say all of that to say the reality of it is that's an uncomfortable period of time of going from boy to man. The Bible says, when I was a child, I thought as a child. When I became an adult, I put away childish things, childish thinking, and childish reasoning. That is an uncomfortable phase of life that everyone, man and woman, must embrace. Go ahead. You about to say something.
Yeah, I was just about to put a pin in that, and you know, my students in the chat, they can definitely vouch for me on this one. When you said that when we grew up saying, "Oh, you guys are so special, the world owes you this," do you know how many girls walk up to my door and say, "Let the queen in," or "Let the queen use the bathroom," or "The queen knows the answer," or like "Move, queen coming through"? I actually hate that. I mean, not to say they shouldn't say it. I'm not saying they shouldn't say it, but I'm saying, like, if the way that I think about it is like, if you're the queen, there's only one of. Okay, that's fair. There's only one girl named whatever. But if 50. It's 50 girls, right? If 57 girls, I'll say 7th graders first. If 57th graders walk up to me and they all say I'm the queen, who's the queen? Who is really the queen? Because look, if you run a country, do you have 50 different leaders? Do you have 50? Like, do you have 50 different people?
Let's open that up for
a second. That's what I'm saying. You don't have 50 different people making rules and doing all the other stuff, but that's whatever. But let me people say
go in on that, because I'm getting excited, man. So I'm sorry to cut you off. You got to go in on that because most people don't know actually who and what a queen is. So to me, send them to the dictionary, but send them to Google and type in who and what is a queen, and they will realize what actually a queen is, what a queen does, how a queen is treated. I'll go a step. I know he said make a fight it out, right? But I'll go a step further. Here's a question for you.
So funny.
Here's a question for you. Do you play chess?
I play chess a little bit. It's not like I play a lot, but I have easy access to chess.
So you're familiar with the game of chess, right?
Yes.
The game of chess is such an amazing game. I challenge everyone who either has heard it or uses the term "let the queen in," or how some guys say what it do, king, or whatever the case may be. Look at how the game of chess is played. You can understand a little bit more of life through the game of chess. Yes, on the chessboard, the queen is who can move multiple spaces, right? There's a great responsibility that comes with being a queen, is what I'm getting to. Mm-hmm. So don't want to be called something if you don't want to carry the responsibilities of what a queen is.
Exactly.
I'm not even going to touch on what a king is. But to your point, when it comes to your students sometime that are saying, let the queen in, I get it. I hear it. But the reality of what it means to be a king, what it means to be a queen, sometimes people are repeating things that they hear versus going to do their due diligence and learning what it is. There are responsibility that comes with being a king. There are responsibilities that come with being a queen. And there's a saying that's called, heavy is the head that wears the crown. Most folks' shoulders aren't strong enough to wear the crown. So like James is saying, a lot of bars drop. Yes, sir, there are. There's a lot of teachable bars and quotes and sayings that are coming through this podcast tonight. But the reality of it is this. Do not want to be considered something that you've yet to go through the fire to become it.
And that's what I say too. And like, I want to go back to what you were talking about when it comes to the game of chess. For my students that don't know, when you have the queen, right? The queen can move at any piece at any time, but she can only move one space at a time, like one left, one up. She can go diagonal, right? I don't know if she can go diagonal. I haven't seen her go diagonal.
She can move every way. It's the king that it can only move one.
Okay, so the queen can move in any direction, but it only move one way. The king can only go up and sideways. But here's the big kicker. The game ends when the king is caught. The game ends when the king is captured, defeated, whatever you want to say. I'm not saying the queen is not a factor, but let's say the queen is captured. The game's not over yet. The game is over when the king is captured. So let's say if I have like, how many pieces are on a chessboard? Like 16, right? There's 8 pawns, 2 bishops, 2 rooks.
Yeah. 16. I think 16.
Maybe about 16. Mm-hmm. So let's say there are 15 queens and 1 king. And the other side has 15 queens and 1 king. If all 15 queens get captured, the game's not over yet.
Not at all.
You can't really say, oh, well, the game is over, the queen lost. No, because there's 14 more of you. I'm not saying you could be replaced, but there's 14 more of you. If the king was defeated, now what? Now what do you do? But you know what I'm saying? That's just one thing that always irks me, because I heard it so much today. And you know what? I'm gonna go on a little bit of a rant right now.
Don't go too much. Don't go too much. Go ahead.
yeah. I'll make it like, I said, like 2 minutes, maybe like a minute.
Go ahead.
So my small rant for like 30. I'll say 30 seconds. My small rant is, instead of them calling them queen, there are a few girls out here, maybe like 2 of them, that want me to call them boss. And I swear to you, to my nerve, that gets on my nerves. I am not calling nobody boss. I will call you by your middle name before I even say that word. But that's over with. I'm not going to go deep in that rabbit hole, because the Patriots game starts in like maybe an hour and a half. So Here's my next and final question for men's mental health, and then we're gonna go into our last topic. So, who do you feel safe opening up to, and why them? So I'm gonna say it again. Who do you feel safe opening up to, and why do you feel safe opening up to them? Here's where and I'll answer this one. You can put Clutchy Yap in the comments and whatever. I don't care. You can put Clutchy Yap, because that's what I do. So the person who I feel most safe opening up to is my two college guy friends, right? Okay. Brian and DJ. those are like the top two guys that I feel most safe opening up to. Not to say I don't feel safe opening up to a woman, because there's some college female friends, but I also like looking up to. But if I would look at my male counterparts, these are the two people that I look at. Because me and DJ, I don't say we've been through thick and thin, but I was kind of the mediator for some of his relationships.
Okay.
And usually he'll talk to me about, hey, my girl did this. What do I do? Hey, my girl did this. I'm thinking about doing this. What do you think? And I do the same thing. Hey, DJ, I'm talking to this girl. She does this. What do you think? Hey, DJ, I've been talking to this girl for a while. Here's what she does, but she also does this that I don't like. How do I go forward with it? It's like me and him, we go back and forth, and we always give each other our own opinion on what girls do and what the certain girl we may be talking to at that time does or doesn't do.
Okay.
Now, me and Brian, we're like this. He was my best college roommate. And when I say me and him, me and Brian, we've been through everything. And I mean from the crack of dawn all the way down to 11:59. For all my college students out there, you know what I'm talking about. But me and Brian, we've been through everything. When I say there are times to where I literally left the room without saying a word. I left the room, be gone for 6 hours. Brian's ready to call a search party on me because he wants to know where I'm at. There's been times to where Brian has been in trouble and say, hey,
that's a good friend.
Hey, this person, huh?
That's a good friend.
Yes, great friend. There are times where Brian was like, hey, Anthony, can you help me or spot me because I need some food and I need to refill the room. And I tell him, hey, you know what? That's a bet, because I was already thinking about going to the store anyway. Whenever Brian was hungry, I had my car. We went to go out somewhere. Whenever I went out and I didn't tell him where I was going, that boy was ready to have the cops on speed dial to come looking for me. And I'm not gonna put his business out there, but we also help each other with relationships too. But he gives me a lot of the religious standpoint of it. So, and that's why I love Brian for it. I love Brian to thick and thin, through ever and whoever, but those two, my two top guys. So, Oren, who would you feel safe opening up to, and why that?
So that's such a great question, man. I'll tell you something, and like I said, I'm being honest and transparent tonight, man. I would probably have to say, hate to say it, man, but really no one, to be honest with you. And that's not always the healthiest, but that's something that through life and through life's experience, sometimes you go through periods of where you realize that opening up isn't always the safest and the easiest thing, but having someone that you can confide in to some degree is beneficial at different periods of life and at different points in life in regards to speaking to certain things. But a good friend, as the old saying says, a good friend is hard to find. You know, the older you get, you understand that you have different people in your life for different reasons. But when it comes to that confiding and when it comes to that opening up, do I want to say be cautious of how much you disclose to someone, because you never know what it is that you're sharing that they'll do with it, right? So I always think about sharing your thoughts, your feelings, and your emotions with someone is like giving somebody a fragile piece of crystal or something that says handle with care. And if you just hand that to anybody, you know, that you're not too sure if they really know what to do with it, they may drop it. You know what I mean? So to me, I think it's important to make sure that how either you pick your friends or you pick people that you want to confide in is based on how you see them handle certain things in their life.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that I would say is the most important thing to really, you know, kind of base that on. Now, like I said, I'll go back to what I said in the beginning. Cannot say when it comes to that, do I do well with it? Do I really have someone that if it's something that is at the deepest bottom of what it is that I probably need to process? Do I have I think I said it maybe a week or two ago, that is an area I fail in, right? There's an area that I'm challenged in. So within that, I'm always seeking to grow. I'm like that. And here's something that's funny, man, when it comes to this. I think I shared this with you before, my field of counseling and life coaching. And this is dating. So you maybe had never heard this before, but they used to say like a really good barber or a really good beautician, they hardly ever have their hair cut or their hair done. It's similar to those in the counseling field, meaning, and what I mean by that is, it's kind of a metaphor, is that those of us that really pride ourselves in being good listeners and very resourceful from a counsel standpoint, usually fail in figuring out how to position ourselves to get our needs met, or either have someone that we can share something with. So that happens a lot of times for me, man. But to be honest with you, the fact that you have someone, or you have two people that you can confide in and that you can share things with and that you can depend on, and you guys can depend on each other, I think it's great. But as you continue to grow, and as you continue to grow through different periods and points in your life, really look at that in regards to who you allow to reside in that space. And either it be the two gentlemen you mentioned, or either it be somebody that you meet as you continue to grow. Consider it that whatever it is that you want to share with somebody is something that you want to hand off, something that is very precious. It's fragile. It needs to be handled with care, and it's not something that you give and you hand to just anybody. Right. So that's something that I would say is a great takeaway moment, point. And within what we're talking about, to anybody listening, and to yourself and myself and anyone else included, do not just be so quick to confide in someone and trust someone just because you have known them for a long period of time, or you want to believe that they have your best interest at hand. That's not always the case. It's not always the case. Sometimes it's better to hold on to things, process them. I'm big on pray about it, pray and fast, take it to the Lord. The only really true decider of how things end up in our lives, so that would be what I would kind of challenge people to give some thought to. So that's my answer to the question. I know I kind of took it in a lot of different directions, man, but I'll say it this way. I fail in it, meaning I don't do well at it, in confiding in people. My reasons are probably somewhat of an excuse. I'm still growing and getting better at it. But I also must say it's because I care about whatever it is that I'm going to hand you or I'm going to pass off to you. I care about what you're going to do with it. So I don't just trust everyone and anyone with whatever it is that I have that I find to be of importance. So, that would be my response to that.
And that's a good response too. So anybody, including James, if you want to put down your answers down in the comments, see who do you open up to and why them. Drop down the comments below why you do it. Because, hey, look, we both gave our answers, and no answer is a stupid answer. No question is a stupid question. Now, the way I want to wrap up tonight's show, it's still about men's mental health. But now we're going to the athletic side. So for those of you who don't know, Cowboys defensive tackle Marshawn Elam has taken his own life. And from reports, it's because of depression and flashes of depression because his mom passed away last year. And it's really hard. It's hard on all of us. We're all praying for his family, his wife, and we're all praying for the Cowboys organization, because I'm pretty sure during that meeting or during that, moment that they found out, everybody was heartbroken. Because imagine you as an athlete. You have an amazing game. You get like 2 sacks, maybe 1 TFL, and you can say you got a strip sack. I'll add a strip sack in there. Then you add a strip sack to you got a strip sack to your stats, right? And the very next day you find out that your teammate that had that stats, he took his own life, but you never know why. And that's why we talk about men's mental health a lot, because us as men, we don't always share our feelings. We don't always share what's going on, which ties into my last question. So if you're dealing with something, please seek help. If you are dealing with anything at all, please seek help. Your problems do matter. No problem is too small to be dealt with. If it's small now, it's going to blow up later on. So Oren, what is your take on just really athletes in general having mental issues? Because I know as a spectator and about and like how do I say this? I know as a spectator and about like athletes, they have this high expectation about them because they want their team to win. They want this big play. They want whatever. So what would your take be on that?
Great question, Anthony. I want to start here, man. I want to challenge people to go research what bread and circus means in the Roman era. And why I wanted to put that out first is because it will help to bring some understanding about actually what sports is. And then we move into the pressures of what sports bring on the athletes themselves, right? So the pressures that a lot of these guys and girls also go through, man, is because people have become so engrossed in sports as though it's life. It's like the end all be all to what makes the world go round. And the fact that it's actually the biggest distraction that was ever created purposefully so that people do not pay attention to what's really going on in the world. So that's why I said I want people to go research what bread and circus means. So when it gets to the athletes, man, the unfortunate part about sports in the modern day with social media and with technology and the ability to be so in kind of intertwined in their everyday lives and their everyday moments and moves and in everything that they do, I can't imagine the pressures that they carry, man. It's no longer something that athletes do as to a degree as a job, right? And as something that the reality of it is someone's going to win and someone's going to lose. And that no matter how hard they work, they still may lose. You know what I mean? No matter how much work they put in, does not mean that they're going to have success. What you speak about now, tell me this gentleman's name again. What was his? How do you say his name? Is it Marshawn Nealon?
Yeah, Marshawn Nealon. Yeah.
And you mentioned that. I heard you say last year. You say he lost his mom.
Yeah. Reports saying that last year he lost his mother.
Okay, so let's look at this. We have to remember, athletes are still people. All they really do is provide entertainment. But the pressures of what people expect on them forget that they're still human beings that are going through life just like the person that's watching them play and entertain. So I say all of that to say, man, that's what I think that people ought to do more instead of having such an expectation of your team. I hate that saying, your team. What stock do you have in a team? You know what I mean? It's not your. Now, mind you, that's just my little thing, right? I always say you have a team you like, but it's not your team. But I get it. But yeah. What I'm getting to is there's pressure that comes with that when it comes to the players, where the reality of who those players are playing for is one another. It's for the particular organization, right? And then the powers that be, and then in turn the fans. But with all of that, they forget that it's still a job at the end of the day. It's a livelihood that they are able to have by way of meaning. It's something that they're able to do to provide them a lifestyle, right? That they still go through things. So as you talk about this young man, Marshawn Nealon, and he's a young guy, right? He probably was around your age, give or take, right?
Yeah, I think he's been in the league for a year.
Okay, so let's say 23, 4, something of that nature. The oldest 25, right? Think about yourself. Think about as a young man with a career, you're a college graduate, you're going through just your everyday life, trying to make some sense of things. Imagine if you had an expectation on your shoulders, not just from your students, not just from your students' parents, not just from your administration, but let's just say if you had the expectation of the entire state of Maryland on your shoulders that every student in your class must pass and must excel with A's. That's a lot of pressure. That's without anybody thinking about what you go through and what you have to deal with when the clock, when the buzzer rings and the bell goes off, and then your day is over, and then you're back to your everyday life. So hopefully somebody can get what I mean from that. What I'm saying is this: we have to remember, man, that athletes are human beings. They're people that go through things just like we do. The expectations that are put on them, the reality of it is it's unfair, but it's what comes with it. You know what I mean? Like if that's what you want and the stars line up for you to be able to make it there, it's a journey that you will have pressures that most people won't ever understand. Most of what you'll have to work through and press through are gonna probably be more times than not unbearable. So I would say this: when it comes to athletes, as to me, I think many people in many professions, but we're just talking about athletes right now, making sure that these young men and young women have some sense of form of therapy or a therapist or some sense of form of counsel that they're able to go to and be able to help them process their lives, not as an athlete, but as a human being first, because they are a human being first that are experiencing life like everybody else before they are that athlete, so that they can be able to some degree see what they do as an athlete as a job that provides entertainment, but it's not the end of the world if they're not able to produce with the expectation that others have of them. So that's what I would say, man.
And you know what? That's such a great perspective, Oren. But I do want to bring in one more person because I just thought about him. And you know what? Producers don't get a lot of love. So I actually want to bring on our own producer, Jay, who is a Steelers fan, by the way. So get ready to clown Jay because the Steelers are buns. So Jay, can you come on stage for us?
How you doing, guys? Pleasure watching for you.
So,
what's up, Jay?
So Jay, and listen, I know I make fun of the Steelers all the time. You know, it's
we beat fun. You guys though.
Hey, guess what? That was like 4 weeks ago. We haven't lost since we beat y'all, or since y'all beat us. Just make sure you know that. But anyway. So what's your thought on athletes? You know, just dealing with mental problems, and even like spectators sending messages to athletes if they do bad.
If, in my opinion, with that, you know, a lot of players through the years have committed suicide for different reasons. And if I was an athlete, I don't think I'd have social media or wouldn't read the paper, because there's very few good things being said about you. It's mainly bad. But that's my opinion. But the men's mental health thing, especially losing a parent. I lost my dad at 7 years old. I lost my mom about 5 years ago. It hurt me, though I knew she was dying. You know, if you know somebody that's lost a parent to death, divorce, whatever, communicate with them. Talk to them, especially you, Anthony, your students. I had no teacher reach out to me and a couple of friends. That was it. So that's all. But
you said something important, Jay, about the reaching out, man, and the fact that to what you experience, and like you said, when it comes to these athletes, man, it goes back to the reality is that everyone goes through something, right? And everyone could benefit from someone checking in on them to see how they're doing. Just really basic on how are you doing, and how are you, moving through what it is that you just, went through.
And kids in middle school, they're the most vulnerable, I think, because they're going through so many changes, personally, in school, socially. I think God, I'm not living nowadays where I have to deal with all the stuff that's online that's happening. You know?
Yeah. The social media, real quick to your point with the social media with these athletes, man, anybody that's in entertainment, I think the reality of what comes with being in that fishbowl is that you're going to be underneath the microscope, right? Yeah. So you're gonna be stoned. You know what I mean? You're gonna get more hate than you get praise. So you have to be able to mentally figure out how to become stronger, and so that we don't really lose sight of who and why we're talking about what we're talking about right now with Marshawn Kneeland. The suicide component when it comes to life in itself. I think it's important that people should really think about what is that really saying. That a lot of times I always equate it to similar to like a car accident. And let me explain to you what I mean by this. We, as people that drive, we drive every day, right? And we see, or either we've heard of an accident happen from time to time. But unfortunately, people don't stop speeding. You know, it's not like people pay attention to the fact that, oh my goodness, if I speed, this could be the effect. So if this makes any sense, and if anyone can parallel it and figure out where I'm going at with this, similar to when you hear about people commit suicide, when really do we ever pay attention to, if we hear about it, let alone if we know of someone, do we stop and say to ourselves, what was it that brought them to a place of where they felt like ending their lives was what it was that they should do? And are we making sure that we're communicating with one another, whoever we say we love and we say we care about? Are we making sure that we're checking in, we're tapping in with them, so that if we find that they're going through something, they can know that they're not alone? Versus the continuation, like I said, with driving, the continuation of just saying, hey man, how you doing? Oh, I'm good. Okay, no problem. Yeah, you hear about the Ravens? You know what I'm saying? It's like let's stop jumping over the reality of people go through things, and people need to know that what they go through, somebody cares, right? So that's my take on that. Jay, I'm glad that you joined us and that Anthony pulled you in to touch on that. If y'all were going into the football talk, I was just about to bow. I would say I'll catch up with y'all. I'll leave that for the other show. But for today's show, man, this has been a great conversation. Go ahead, Anthony.
But actually, I think we ended tonight's show great, because I'm so happy Jay came on, because Oren, if you would have been inside my head whenever I do these shows, I always want to figure out how can I get Jay to do something, because I know so many times Jay will always tell me that he doesn't want to be on camera, but I know Jay has an opinion on stuff. Mm-hmm. Jay will tell me pre-show, he'll tell me post-show, he'll always tell me opinion. Like, you know what? Yeah. Let everyone else hear your thoughts. Let everyone else hear your opinions.
You're producing.
Yeah, I was going to speak in Jay's defense. Like sometimes and Anthony, we get your point when it comes to that, but the other side of it is it's twofold. Like Jay just said, he's producing. So what do producers do? We stay in the background. You know what I mean?
You're right.
And twofold, the other side of it is sometimes some things aren't always to be shared, or everyone doesn't feel as comfortable. Because let's be real. Let's stick with the mental health component. For a introvert, right? Someone that prefers staying out of the spotlight, coming into the spotlight, right? And you probably wouldn't believe it. I am as well, right? I know you said that to me. I said that to you before. You like, no, Oren, please come on. But within that being said, that's something that can be extremely uncomfortable if it's where you do not want to be in front of the camera, so to speak, or put on display. So I just say that to say, you know, Anthony, I get it. And I know, because I mean, granted, when we're behind the scenes, we're talking, Jay has given us such gems and dropping such, you know, great points, but that's the other side of the mental health component, especially with us as men, because it's men mental health awareness, is that we have to consider all of our levels of comfort, even though I know we talked about get comfortable and uncomfortable, but the levels of comfort when it comes to our makeup. Who we are, how we function, how we maneuver, type of thing.
Fair enough.
So, Anthony, why don't you go ahead and wrap up? I'm going to drop out again, okay? Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you, man. Thank you for joining us.
All right. Thanks, Jay. See you post-show. Well, this was a great conversation, Oren.
Yes, it was.
I think we tackled a few things. Some conversations went longer than others, but nevertheless, this was a good day. I think this was good, man. This was a great hour together.
Yes, sir.
So
always enjoy joining you.
So I want to remind everybody that my Aunt Archie show will be Mondays at 7, because my flag football times are now done. So my Mondays are totally free. Aunt Archie is now at 7 o'clock on Mondays, and these real thoughts will still be Tuesdays at 9. But if we move it, it will be Thursdays at 6. Okay, so I'll remind Jay to put that in the banners post show. But Thursdays at 6, if Tuesdays don't work. So if we cancel Tuesday at 9, we'll do Thursdays at 6.
We say expect us at 6.
Yes. And a preview for next week. Hopefully, I can try to get more teachers in here, so that way we can try to get more teachers' opinions. Like, I want to get Mr. Dixon come back on. I want to get Mr. Hamilton. I want to see if Mr. Brown has time. He can come on. I could probably see if Mr. Woods want to come on and do a little something. I may get Mr. Curtis ain't gonna have enough time, but I'm gonna try to get like other male teachers to see if they want to come on and put their opinion on stuff. But next week we're gonna talk about parent-teacher conferences, okay? And we're gonna talk about on the teacher side. What do we talk about? What do we see and what we notice? And hopefully some fathers can give us the parent side. Okay,
I can do that. I'll play that role. I'll play that role.
Cool. That's perfect. Yeah. You can talk about some 7th graders, how they don't know what to do with their attitude swings. They don't know what to do if they have one other sibling, but that sibling is like an infant or like in elementary school. They don't know what to do. Or they have something that's like their sibling is older, but they're not in the house. You know what I'm saying? So in the house with the only child. But there's a lot of different situations and factors that go into that. But right. Next week, we're going to talk about parent-teacher conference, and we're going to try to bring a wrap-up to the men's mental health conversation. But the conversation will always, always, always continue in June. Okay? So that's it for tonight. Everybody, see you later. Thanks for watching. About to go watch my Patriots game.
All right.
I'll see y'all later.
Take it easy.